Hey YouTube, it's Olympus Reptiles, and today I got kind of a pro tip to share with you. You know, the other day we picked up those snakes in Kansas City. I'm curious if you got the Easter egg. I know I said in the one video that we got rid of 3 and we were picking up 3, and a few of you caught that we only showed 2 we were picking up on camera. But in fact, there was a toolbox in the background that contained our gaboon viper. So we picked up 3, we just saved a separate video for the 3rd. I was curious if somebody kind of caught that because I didn't do that on purpose. But today, and I'll show you a new snake that we bought after the camera stopped rolling. I'll let you meet that one too. You guys didn't get to see it because we didn't plan on buying it until we'd already filmed, and then we made the decision to. But before we get to that, let me share a pro tip with you. So it's going to be about this snake right here. Now this is a snake that dropped 10 eggs for me. Okay, and so she's a pastel. She's a really, really big girl. And after she laid her eggs, you know, this was a fresh, brand new tub just for her. Brand new litter, treated, everything was waiting just for her so we could get all that scent out there. And she didn't feed. And then we tried again, she didn't feed. And that's pretty typical for her. And this is where it comes down to knowing your individual snakes. So I know that this snake, after she lays eggs, will only feed on mice for a little while. If I give her mice, she'll take them. After a few rounds of mice, I can get her back on rats. So what I want you to understand is if you have a snake that lays or something, anything happens to it, whether it lays, it gets moved and causes stress, any of these things that can cause a ball python especially to go off food, one of the best tricks to get that snake back on feed, and you're probably saying, geez, that snake looks really thin and terrible. I don't know if this is a good idea. Remember, she just had 10 eggs. One of the best tricks is to go with a very, very small item. I typically use a mouse. A mouse will run a lot. There's not a lot of danger to the snake, and the snake is going to take that mouse. Why I think that works? I think it kind of comes down to confidence. And so whatever stress the snake, in this case laying eggs, sometimes it's a move, sometimes it's Tuesday with the ball python, a change in environment. Any of those things can cause that stress, right? When you give it something small that it can eat very quickly, it's going to be more confident in taking that meal. When you give it a full-size meal that's going to take it a while to eat and digest and swallow, it's going to feel less confident. And the reason is the entire time that snake's got that animal and has it coiled, its focus is on that. The entire time it's swallowing it. And if you think about how long it takes a snake to swallow, say, this snake can handle medium to large rats, no problem. But how long it takes her to swallow that? She's out of commission for 3 or 4 minutes, which means she's open to predation. So in the real world, predators would have a chance to attack her and she'd have no defense, wouldn't be able to run. She'd literally have to regurge that meal to have a chance to get away. Not a very good way of doing things, right? But with that little mouse, she's able to get it, coil it, and swallow it very, very, very fast, meaning she's back to commission and she'll get some strength back up. So we'll give her a few of those. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll give her multiple. So I've already fed her 1. I'm going to try her on another one, and we'll see if she'll take a second one for me. The reason is because 1 mouse isn't very much. So we'll put another one in there and see what happens. Because again, it's a confidence thing. And if she's taking mice and I can get her to take 2 or 3 a week, she's likely to get more muscle mass back quicker, get used to eating, get her metabolism kind of back running, get all the stomach juices back working, and get back on larger meals sooner for me. Why is it important to get them back on food as soon as you can? Well, if you want to breed them the following year, it's important they gain that weight back and they gain that strength back from going through the traumatic experience of laying a clutch of eggs. And sometimes they'll take a female to shed. Some of them go right back on right away. It just kind of depends on the female. There you go. So I know that this snake will do that for me almost every year. I know that. So every year I know the trick to get her back on food. And because of that, because I've discovered that with her, she has been a 9 to 10 egg laying snake for the last, let's see, she did it in I think 15, 16, 17, 18, and now 19. For 5 years straight, I've been able to get that kind of production out of her with no risk to her whatsoever because she always gets back up to weight. It's all about knowing your animals and treating them a little bit like an individual. The more you get, obviously, guys, the harder that's going to be. It's just a reality. You know, if I had this room full of 178, would I know each one of them as an individual? Probably not. Probably wouldn't. But will I know the ones that have little tricks and give me problems that I discover? You bet. You remember those because you know, hey, this is what I got to do to get this snake back going. Or, hey, this is what I got to do to get this snake back going. Or, hey, this is what I have to do for this male to get that male in breed mode. You kind of have to learn those. And I have a list of them. And my boy Cerastus, he's my pastel lesser male. He'll never take a big meal. He only likes smaller meals. Not that small, but a weaned rat, even though he's an adult male. You put a small rat in there, good luck. Weaned rat, he'll kill it. My boy Artemis, my original pied male, he'll go in swings where he'll take rats great and he'll stop. Give him about 3 weeks, put in a few mice. Just go with mice for about a month and a half, and then switch back to rats, he'll take them for me. I know that about those individual snakes, and I keep that in mind when I work with them because I know how to get my snakes to do what I need them to do. Except for this one, because this one's the one you didn't get to see. And it did not eat this week. But I'll pull it out and I'll show it to you. Since it didn't eat. Right here. What this is called an onyx. And so we didn't plan on buying this one when we were in Kansas City. Then we took another look at it. And it was actually Kurt that knew this. I didn't because it's not a genetic I've worked with a lot. What this is a black pastel, which we obviously do have a lot of, het red axanthic. And I didn't have any het red axanthic. And it was Kurt that pointed out that this is an allelic combo. And so with it being an allelic combo, that had me much more sold on picking her up because, again, she can never make a normal, which means that even though I don't have much experience with het red axanthic, I do with black pastels. When I breed this snake, I know each baby is going to be one or the other, so I should be able to identify the black pastel and know the rest are het red axanthic, which will kind of help me get used to that gene, see what I can do with the gene, and make sure I'm not trying to tell a normal from this or that because she can't make one. And the cool thing with these allelic animals or any super type animal is, let's say I pair her to the Suma, which is a very high likelihood next season, we'll make nothing but mahogany black pastels and mahogany het red axanthics. Ultimately, what we want to go with is a Suma black pastel to get really a jet black snake and do it very, very safely, and especially if our super black pastel incubation experiment doesn't work. So I wanted to share this snake with you because this goes to show that, you know, even though I'm the snake guy and Kurt's the mouse and rat guy, every now and then Kurt's going to know something I didn't know. And when he did know something I didn't know, then I put this decision in his hands, and you got to trust your business partner. He said, yeah, we need that. So here it is. So if you don't like this, blame Kurt. If you do, tell him he did an awesome job. I'm going to put this snake back in. There you go, little buddy. And I'm going to take its meal out. Now again, we could try a smaller item. We did go with a small rat on that. But since this is first week here, I'm really not going to worry about it. We're just going to let that be and let that settle in. Sometimes it'll take him a little while to eat in a new environment, and that's just normal. All right, Kurt, you got anything you want to add?
No.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next week.